Hey everybody, this is IndieGeek, and today I'm taking a look at Chromacore. This is it's kind of a musical platformer in a way by Incendiary Industries, and it is available on, I believe, Desera, although I think the Desera might still be the beta build. It's also available on itch.io, which I will link below, as well as I believe on the Google Play Store, which I will also link below. It's $2 on PC, Mac, and Linux, and it is free with some in-app purchases on Google Play. But with that, we will jump in and maybe I will show off a few levels here. So, basically what's going on is we can jump and we can punch, and we're going to have to use both of those in almost kind of like a bit trip runner style. Because that's basically what's going on here. So what's going to happen is we've got these kind of musical bits. And another game I'm gonna sort of reference here is Sound Shapes, which is a PlayStation Network exclusive, but the way it works is just like in Sound Shapes, when you pick up these bits, they add like little extra instruments or little extra kind of motifs or melodies to the background music, as well as making the level more colorful. You may have seen I passed something that looked like kind of a TV that was like a checkpoint. So if I make a mistake at any point, I will go back to that checkpoint. I've kind of got mixed feelings on the game. There are a lot of things I like about it, but there are also a couple of big sort of blocking points for me, I guess. And maybe I'll just start off with kind of like the things that I am not totally sure about yet. I feel like just as far as a platformer goes, it's kind of in a weird place, because it's up against things like I mentioned, Sound Shapes, which isn't like an infinite runner kind of thing. Sound Shapes let you control your character, and because of that there are fewer notes, and I think that works well for Sound Shapes to have fewer notes and let you control your character. But then there's like Bit Chip Runner, which was much tougher and had a lot more things to collect, but didn't let you control yourself, and I think that worked for that. And this is in kind of a weird place in the middle, because we have, as you can see, all the people that made it are actually in university, and I think that's cool. I think it's, it's a pretty good game as it is, and you can see there are like 10 levels with more to come, so that's cool. Sounds like they're not going to stop working on it. Let's see, I believe I did this level earlier, and then after this I'll do a level that I haven't done, and maybe show off what that's like. So, anyways, yeah, so like I said, it's kind of in a weird place in the middle, where there aren't a ton of notes, or at least it's not that hard to collect all of the notes, and it's an infinite runner. So I've found, like, in general, it's pretty easy, and I think part of that is probably just due to the fact that there's also kind of the mobile focus to the game. So, I think it's made to work well on phones and tablets, but almost at like a bit of a detriment to the the PC version of the game, I feel, because it just feels maybe too easy, and I know that's a weird complaint to have because that's so subjective, but yeah, I'd say that's probably my biggest complaint about the game, is I've just found it kind of really easy right now. So I mean, this is the last level, and I don't know if they are supposed to get like harder in difficulty, but I beat this and got all the notes in like 1 or 2 tries. I think I only died like once or twice is what I'm saying when I did it earlier. So as far as like difficulty goes, I'm not finding a ton of difficulty, and again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I just find that it's not necessarily keeping me drawn in. Like I feel like playing a song or two and then being done for a bit, and then maybe I'll come back later and play another song or two. But that's not, like, again, I say that's not necessarily a bad thing depending on what you're looking for, and that's also why I say it's probably maybe a better purchase on your phone, just because it works, like I said, where you might want to play a song or two and then put it down. So you could easily do that on a phone, but I don't necessarily find the same draw on the computer version. But so I mean that's basically my biggest complaint. So I mean I think the gameplay is pretty standard. I think no one's really like shocked by what's going on here in the gameplay. It's pretty straightforward. I don't think there's necessarily anything that I need to say about that. From an art perspective, I think it looks pretty good. So maybe I'll do like this one or something. I don't know. There are a lot of levels that I still haven't played through. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I guess if I was gonna have like some complaints about the art, I wish maybe that assets weren't reused so much. Like we've got these weird building shapes, and sometimes they'll just like overlap, and we'll throw one at an angle, and then sometimes we get like weird texture overlapping with that. But again, like the visuals aren't super important to the game, I guess. So I mean, it's not a huge deal. I guess I'd just like to see a little more variety. Like, the other games I mentioned, like, kind of have that advantage as well, where there's, like, a ton of variety in everything. And, I haven't found very much variety. All the levels are kind of this, just kind of like buildings, things like that. And that's cool. I think it's a cool look. But like I said, I guess, so like there, if you saw, there's a little bit of a weird texture overlap. Oh, I wasn't paying attention because I was looking to see the texture overlap. Maybe we'll see it again here. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so, I mean, I guess just little things like that make it look a little less polished than it could, I guess is what I'm saying. But again, like, the visuals, like I said, are not like the highest priority, I guess, in a game like this. I think the character looks nice. I think it would be kind of cool to see him change color as well, or her, I guess. I don't really get a gender for the character. Yeah, because we see like the backgrounds change color, and it'd be kind of cool to see our character change color as well as we pick up all these notes. That would be kind of neat. And then, so that was bad, I missed my jump. But then, we get to kind of what we would think of as being the most important thing, which of course is the music. What I've heard, I like. I'm not like, I don't know, I'm not like obsessing over any of the music. I think it's got kind of a disadvantage to where I think all of the music is original music, which is certainly not a bad thing. But then you kind of lose like what you'd get with like a Guitar Hero game or something, where you're going to get people to buy it just to play songs that they know that are in it. Because if any of these are real songs before the game, then I haven't heard them. So I guess there's that missing, and I understand why, because it's kind of a, it's a student project. It's probably put together on a pretty tight budget, so buying like licensing for music is not cheap by any means. So I can understand why they would do that. But I feel like, of course, like I said, I feel like you lose a bit of a possible audience because of that. And just because, like I said, I'm not familiar with any of this music, and none of it's really like sticking with me. I'm not really finding many songs that I'm going, oh, I like that so much, I gotta go back and play it again. And I think again, part of it might be because this is more of like a bit trip style game where what we're doing is not necessarily actually musical. What we're doing has an effect on the music, sure, but it's not like we're playing a Guitar Hero style game or something. So I think that's part of it, is that a lot of the levels just feel kind of repetitive. And you combine that with the art, and you combine that with kind of just everything else I mentioned. At least like we get some cool background changes, and I think that helps a bit. But I mean, like you can see, how many times have we seen this building asset now? It's, I think it's been used in every level I've shown off, and it's the same building every time. So I guess, like I said, there are positives and negatives. I feel like maybe I've harped a bit too much on the negative stuff. It certainly doesn't take away from the fact that it's kind of just a fun game to sit down and play. And I'm actually probably not going to worry about getting that note that I missed. I haven't really noticed a consequence for missing any notes or anything like that, so, I guess that's another thing, is that in some ways it feels maybe a little, like the notes are just like a little inconsequential, that kind of thing. But, yeah, I guess I'll do like one more level here. We'll see if there's anything that's a little different. Let me go. I don't want to do one that's too long. Maybe we'll do like this Tasker Avenue. I guess if we're going to talk about repetitive stuff so much, I feel like a lot of the music is kind of repetitive as well. As far as I can tell, most of them are around the same, like, beats per minute. We don't get a lot of variety in what we're hearing. And again, like, I'm not trying to say like this is bad. I'm just saying it gets really repetitive really fast, I guess. And depending on how you look at it, that can be good or bad. I know some people are fine with that. Like, a lot of people are totally fine with just just having kind of like a casual experience like this. Whereas like with me, I've got a huge musical background, so a music game has to be like pretty tough for me to want to put a bunch of time into it. And I think maybe that this one just like doesn't do enough with like musical elements, right? So for me, it's not really grabbing me. I guess that's what I'm saying at the end of the day. Like, I think it's okay, and that's about what I would give it. Like, I'd say it's okay. And there's nothing wrong with being okay. Like, it's not a bad game by any means. But it's just like not my favorite musical platformer, I guess, is what it comes down to. But yeah, I mean, like I said, like, just give it a shot. Oh wow, okay. Huh. There we go. So I guess, like, yeah, okay, so that's a good example. I mean, I'd love to see more of that kind of thing, where timing actually becomes, like, supremely important. And I feel like in a lot of levels it's not necessarily that important. Like, you can get through a lot of levels being pretty sloppy about stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think this is probably where I'll wrap it up. Like I said, I mean, it's not bad by any means. It's just nowhere near like the best music platforming game I've played. So yeah, I mean, I guess if I was gonna like recommend this to anyone, it would be if you are looking for kind of a fun, casual platformer with kind of an audio-visual bent to it, then I would say, like, absolutely, like, pick this up. The other thing that I can give it is it's not that expensive. Yeah, again, a little bit of a visual hitch there. Yeah, like I said, though, it's okay. It's not. I don't know. Like I said, I'll throw links in the description. If it looks like something you'll want, then absolutely, I definitely recommend checking it out and seeing if maybe you take to it a little bit more than I did. Either way, if you go for phone, you'll get to try out some of the songs for free, and if you go for PC, it's only a couple bucks. So I think either way, you'll be fine with picking it up. But yeah, that is where I will end this one for today. So as always, feel free to leave comments if there's anything that you would like to comment on. Subscribe to the channel to see more videos every single day. And if you liked my video on Chromacore, then please do consider clicking the like button. But with that, I will thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.